Hey, what is up, people? This is Johnny, and today I'm going to give you 5 tips of Pokemon Go that could actually help you on your adventure while you're playing Pokemon Go. The first tip that I'm going to be giving you is that when you first start off playing Pokemon Go, make sure to look at a couple of videos on how people throw the Pokeball. The reason why you want to know how to throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon initially is because you are going to lose a lot of Pokeballs in the beginning because the game doesn't actually give you a tutorial to throw Pokeballs. And you want to go ahead and conserve them because the Pokeballs are actually kind of very little in amount. Well, they give you a lot of Pokeballs when you start off, but you want to go ahead and try to conserve them a lot. Why? Because then later on in the game, you're probably going to end up paying for Pokeballs if you don't end up conserving them. And then you will probably have to go to Pokestops in order to get more Pokeballs and stuff like that. In order to level up faster in Pokemon Go, I recommend that you go to different locations where you find new Pokemon. Every time you find a new Pokemon, you will probably get roughly a 600 experience points or more. And this will help you level up your character's levels to make it to level 5. So I recommend capturing new Pokemon that you can encounter as possible. If you have time, try to encounter all the new Pokemon. Click on them as fast as you can to encounter new Pokemon. I also recommend recapturing older Pokemon because they give you an easily points of 100 experience points. So if you're good at capturing regular Pokemon, you might as well capture them in order to gain experience points while you go to different areas. So this will help you level up faster, and not only will it get you in no time to level up to battle the gym. The next tip that I recommend is to go to a location where different things are located. For example, if you go to a certain area, there may be a bunch of places that will have Pokestops, and they will also have gyms so you can go. And there will also be a lot of Pokemon that you can encounter nearby. I recommend going in the car to different places. Most times in the park area, you will find different Pokemon all around it, simply because that's a park, and that will have the advantage of you capturing different Pokemon. So I recommend every time you're using the GPS, if you're in the car, cruise around and go to an area where there will be a lot of Pokestops and you see a lot of signs of Pokemon there. That usually means that you will get a bunch of perks when you go to these stops. And I recommend going in the car, personally, finding these areas. But if you're in a park, just walk around the park and you'll probably find a lot of things. Now, if you're going in the car, I do recommend you to be careful. Be the passenger and have like your dad or mom or somebody else, a friend, driving the car while you're doing this, because that will definitely reduce the risk of you while Pokemon going and driving, because that could be dangerous. It's a really distracting thing if you're in Pokemon Go and you're driving at the same time. The next tip that I'm going to be giving you that is actually essential for your Pokemon to get stronger is that don't ever level up the first Pokemon that you get. For example, if you get your starter. The thing is that you want to collect as many Stardust that you can, because this will help you level up your Pokemon that will become stronger later on. Now, I understand that you may actually want a Charmander, but you're going to be able to encounter more Charmanders in the wild. Try to capture more Charmanders. They're kind of rare to encounter, but eventually you will encounter them randomly. So if you encounter a Charmander, you want to get more Charmander candy for it to evolve, I recommend that you get all the Charmander candies first before you actually evolve it, because it's going to be kind of weak, and I think it will be stronger when you evolve it into a Charmeleon. So make sure to get all the Stardust you can, and then once you get like different Charmanders, there could be one that has a higher CP, which will have a higher CP than the one that you currently have. So you're going to want to go ahead and evolve the one with the highest CP that you capture in the nature, because if you capture a really high Pokemon with a CP, then you can keep upgrading it, and evolve it to its final evolution. And there you will have a stronger overall Pokemon that you won't have to worry about. So I recommend upgrading the Pokemon with the higher CP, especially for Charmanders, because if you capture higher CP Charmanders, you will get a better advantage, as well as having that Pokemon level up faster and have more stronger abilities. I recommend doing this, in my opinion, because this will help you evolve them with a much stronger stats, and that's what I think about that. The final thing that I'm going to be talking about is my personal view on the gyms. Now, the gyms are actually quite easy depending on the person that put the Pokemon there. Right now, you have the ability to get a really strong Pokemon and go to a gym and battle it. Not everyone has gotten a really strong Pokemon at these gyms that you can, so that means that you can actually beat these gyms easily if you get a higher level Pokemon. For example, in my area, since the game just came out, there's only some Pokemon that are pretty weak, like Eradicate, that probably have a CP of 136, or who knows, around there. And I have a Pinsir that's already at a 226, I believe, a CP. So I'll have the advantage to beat these gyms. But what you have to make sure is that you have to be prepared and know the weakness of the Pokemon in order before you actually battle that gym. I recommend that you have a really strong Pokemon with a CP, probably updated Stardust if it's a Pokemon that you're going to evolve. So make sure to be careful with that, and then you'll be able to battle these gyms, and then probably leave a Pokemon there to transfer after you beat the gym, and leave that gym pretty strong with a strong Pokemon that will make it difficult for other players to actually go and defeat your gym. So that's the final tip that I recommend. And let me know in the comment section what tips you recommend for Pokemon Go. I'm still learning stuff through the game, but these are the tips that I personally found out that are really useful for me.
Yo, dude, focus on the attack. Don't do the CP. Just focus on that. You probably only care about your CP, but I'll tell you right now, that's not the thing you should be worried about. Now, if you've been playing Pokemon Go for the past week, you understand that the big thing in the game is bringing up your Pokemon CP and capturing Pokemon with a high CP. Pretty much, CP is the Pokemon's level. That's it. It's like, you know, you have level 1 to 100. Well, I think you have level 1 to 1,000 in Pokemon Go. I believe that the higher the CP, the higher the chance you'll hit a Pokemon, and maybe the higher the crit. But other than that, I don't think it plays that big of a part other than boosting your HP. And you really shouldn't be wasting your candies or your Stardust on raising a Pokemon CP off the jump. I think what people need to start paying attention to is the hidden numbers in a Pokemon that no one even looks at. So you have, look, this is the first Bulbasaur I ever had, right? Boom. He has a 12 tackle, and he has a 60 power whip. Now, his CP level is 58. Now, I caught another Bulbasaur whose CP level was 124 off the jump. And his Vine Whip is only 10 attack, and his power whip is the same 60. Now, he has a higher CP, which means he has a higher HP pool. But it doesn't make sense for me to level that Pokemon up because at, let's say, level 200, if they're both at level 200, both these Bulbasaurs, my Bulbasaur at level 200 with 12 on its Vine Whip will do more damage versus that Bulbasaur in a fight, which is way more important than having a higher CP, because at the end of the day, if I'm doing more damage, I'm gonna win the fight. But if CP directly affects your accuracy, then, you know, it kind of like counterbalances, like what's the difference between CP levels, like, you know, that's when it comes into play. But it's just like the old Pokemon games, you know, you had IVs and EVs, and IVs is what people wanted. They wanted the perfect IV Pokemon, and then they would put all their time and resources into leveling this Pokemon up, because it will just do more at the same level as another Pokemon. So I think we as trainers now need to go out, and when we capture Pokemon, don't just go right to the, oh, it has a big CP number. No, take a step back, look at that attack, see what's stacking, and then decide whether you want to transfer one Pokemon or not. Because if you have a Bulbasaur that has like 25 Vine Whip and like 100 Power Whip, but it has like a 60 CP, but then you have this Bulbasaur that has like 160 CP, but only has like 10 and 20 on those moves, why would you keep the one with the higher CP? Those numbers don't go up. They stay the same unless you evolve them. So when I have my Venusaur at level 1000 and your Venusaur at level 1000, mine's gonna be the better Venusaur in the fight. It just makes more sense. Now, I don't know if there's been an article that's been released on this to be like, hey, this is what CP does. If there is, please comment down below and let me know, so Miss Theory can be like crushed and I don't have to keep promoting it to all my friends like, yo, dude, focus on the attack. Don't do the CP, just focus on that. Or let me know what you think about it. Do you think I'm kind of right? Have you experimented with it and been like, yo, I've kind of noticed that actually makes sense? So comment down below in the section with all of that, and I will see you guys in the next Poke Vlog, which will be tomorrow.
You teach me and I'll teach you. Gotta catch 'em all. Yeah.
these eggs are 2 kilometers, these eggs are 5 kilometers, these eggs are 10 kilometers. What does it all mean? So if you're playing Pokemon Go, you realize you have different kind of kilometer marked eggs. Now, what exactly do those kilometers mean? Now, people on Reddit have kind of figured this out, but depending on the distance you have to walk on the egg you have, it will affect overall the Pokemon you're gonna get out of that egg. So you have the distance between 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and 10 kilometers. Now, if you're in the 2 kilometer category, you have a chance of getting Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, Caterpie, Weedle, Pidgey, Rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat, Spearow, Pikachu, Clefairy, Igglybuff, Zubat, Geodude, and Magikarp. If you're in the 5 kilometer category, you have an even bigger pool to pull from, so it's gonna be very random. You have a choice between Sandshrew, Nidoran, Nidorina, Vulpix, Oddish, Patties, Venomoth, Diglett, Meowth, Psyduck, Minky, Growlithe, Poliwhirl, Abra, Machop, Bellsprout, Tentacruel, Ponyta, Slowbro. I always say his name wrong. Magneton, Farfetch, Duduo, Dugong, Muk, Tongue Pokemon, Ghastly, Anteater looking Pokemon, Krabby, Voltorb, Execute, Cubone, Lickitung, Coughing, Rhyhorn, Tentacruel, Kangaskhan, Horsey, Goldeen, Staryu, Mr. Mime, Tauros, or the weird Polygon. Yeah, Polygon. Then when you hit tier 10, you have an option to get even like more rarer Pokemon. Those are Chansey, Scyther, Jinx, Electabuzz, Magma, Pinsir. Why is Pinsir rare? Lapras, Onyx, Eevee, Hitmonlee, Hitmonchan, weird shell Pokemon, Kabutop's first evolution, Aerodactyl, Snorlax, and everybody's favorite, Dratini. Now 2 kilometers is 1.2 miles, 5 kilometers is 3 miles, and then 10 kilometers are 6.2 miles. My recommendation for hatching eggs is to just hop on your bike and just ride around. Just ride around. It hatches it so quickly you'll hit 6 miles. You can do 6 miles in like 30 minutes. And that's it. Let me know what's been your experience with these eggs. What have you gotten out of it? Are those actually accurate descriptions of what comes out of the kilometers? Thanks for watching. Share this video with someone you think it can help. Subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next Poke Vlog.
You teach me